Oh! See if it popped me up there. I'm live. What is up, guys? Let me open a live chat here. For some reason, let me know if I'm moving, because my YouTube thing doesn't show me moving. However, my webcam does, so it's probably going to be a long delay. So I'm going to close this. I've got all kinds of things going and I can't figure anything out. Alright guys, let me get this thing all situated right. You're moving at high quality, I appreciate that. How's the lighting look tonight? Let's see, I'll pull a bait out and you guys tell me how this bait looks. This is actually the one I was going to talk about tonight. This is the Yamamoto Mermaid, and that's watermelon red. Hopefully y'all can see the coloration a whole lot better than before. Got me a big old shot light. Got me a little Jaints juice up on my shirt here, so sorry about that. And check it out, this is the Jaints shirt. There's a link in the description of the video. You can get them on Spreadshirt. You can get everything from performance shirts to hoodies, you name it. And there are some guys that won't be joining the stream tonight because there is some stuff going on in the sports world. Yeah, I am going to have to put some coasters on. So, but anyways, guys, thanks again for joining me tonight. I'm sorry we've had problems. It's always something. But I'm really trying to get this new streaming software figured out, and it's going to get better. I promise. I'm going to get some cool graphics come up. So if someone throws a donation, I'm going to get that bass jumping out there, or maybe a guy stroking a jig. And I'm going to get a thing where new subscribers, you get a shout out every time. So I've had lots of things going on this week, and I got to go fishing for some Jaints, and I don't know if you can see that in my hands, but these down in here, yeah, that was good ones. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys, this bait behind me right here was the absolute truth. And this is, man, I caught some big ones. This is that 6 cents Provoke Ghost Pro Shad. And, man, I probably caught 30 bass on this thing, and it still looks pretty much brand new. Webcam focus in on that thing right there. But man, these provokes are getting hard to get. But we're going to talk plastics tonight. We're going to talk about spring fishing. We're going to talk about plastics. I'm not really going to get into bedding baits. That's really a whole different deal. And I don't do a lot of bed fishing, so I might have to get a special guest on here to help us with that. But sorry about the Vols. It's all good, man. Vols had a great season. Nothing to be ashamed of. I'm a Vol for life. They could go 0-31, and I would still talk crap to the UK basketball fans. But that's just how it is. I'm really excited. We're basketball school now, so hopefully we got some guys coming in next year. I'll answer a few questions, and then I'm going to get on the show, and we're going to kind of start with creature baits and stuff like that. My favorite baits and some tips on color and how I like to rig them, stuff like that. And then we're going to get into worms and then maybe some oddballs. Man, you probably text the wrong number, Matt. I got a new cell phone number. You'll have to email me to get it. I'll drop my email right down here. And I do want to apologize to some guys. I gave away some hog farmer baits, and I've just forgotten to get to the post office. It was like 2 weeks ago. So I do want to let y'all know, because y'all ask every stream. Everybody asks about this right here. This is the Babe swim bait. Some of you guys probably saw it in Milliken Fishing. Some of you guys probably have some. They are now back available on 3ffishing.com. There's not many left. I think the colors they had in stock was the Natural, and Rhinolicious, which is a chartreuse shad. But these guys right here, this is one of the baddest swim baits on the planet. And I'll tell you guys straight up, I absolutely train wrecked some Jaints on that Scottsboro 6-inch line through. I got it on video, so I got to edit that down. I'll put that video up this week. Plenty of provokes, ice on my lake. That is a bad problem to have, man. So, does the audio sound good tonight? What's up, Frank? Frank, the Jaint catcher. I saw what you did at Dale Hollow, buddy. So, if you guys see me looking to my left a lot, I got my microphone set up right here. So, I caught my first Northern Smallie on a Provoke 106 today. Man, I think I would love to see a deep diving Provoke myself. My buddy started throwing a Mega Bass +1 toward the end of the day, and he started catching a few more, and I think he was getting down just a little bit deeper in that Provoke because I spanked him for the most part. How do you store them to keep them straight? I keep them in the tube or I lay them flat. That's something the market is missing. We need a good Bass Mafia. If you're listening, listen to me, not the Googans on this, because they don't throw swim baits. We need a good, soft plastic swim bait storage option. I've got a really good idea, and I'm not going to let anybody know about it, but I'm going to send it to Bass Mafia. And that's the toughest part about these swim baits is the tails getting jacked up. And I've got an idea that would work really good. So, all right, good. Everyone is out of the Jerky J. What is a good substitute? Here, I'll show you, JD. This is what I use. And I actually like this bait better than the Jerky J. Because when you glue it on there, it stays on. And so does the Jerky J as well. Jerky J is an awesome bait. But this is the Scottsboro Tackle Sniper Shad. And they make this in a 5-inch as well. This color is, I believe it's Hitch. You can see that little blue line through there. But this dude on a scrounger head with that tail really, really whips. Now this bait will roll really well. Low budget bass, and that's awesome, man. This is the last week for the current Baitman Box. I've talked to Casey. We're going to do a kind of a spawning season box. And what I picked out, it's going to be loaded. There's going to be a bunch of items for the same price point. Instead of 6 hard baits, you're going to get like several jigs. You're going to get some skirts. You're going to get some topwater. I think it's going to be a really, really good a box. And then, you know, my favorite will obviously be the summertime ledge box, but gotta have something in between there because there's a lot of good fishing going on from April to mid-May. What are my thoughts on the Mega Bass Mag Draft? I think it's an awesome bait that I personally have not figured it out. So many guys have figured it out. I can't catch them on it, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's the way I fish, but me and the Mag Draft don't get along. But it is an excellent bait. I know Alex Rudd throws it quite a bit. He's very confident in it. Monty McWilliams, I appreciate it, my man. We're going to have to go fishing. I mean, hopefully our boy Jake Lawrence will show out in that Costa this week. I'm really, really excited. What's up, Bass Monkey? Will you come out with early summer bait box? Absolutely, Frank. We'll get some deep divers in there, some swim baits. Maybe we can throw that new 6-cent frog in there too. So, yeah, the Provoke, I was very surprised. And I threw it before, I never paid attention. I just knew it had great action. Man, it suspended great. The water temperature was 55 degrees where I was fishing over on Lake X. And don't tell Mark Zona, but I smashed him. Like, he would have been jelly of what I caught just on the Provoke. We don't even want to talk about what I caught on swim bait, but I got most of it on GoPro. We may make 2 videos out of it for sure. But is a scrounger head a good option for pre to post spawn for big fish? You know, my buddy Hunter the Hammer showed me that scrounger will work in cold water the other day, and he caught a great big one on it. And I think it's a confidence deal, and I know a lot of guys are tossing swim baits now. And they see that a lot. And I think that scrounger is definitely a way to catch them this time of year as well. What's going on, St. Crest? Thank you so much. Have I seen the new lighting Lightning Shock Rods 2.0. They look so good. Can't wait for Wally World to start stocking. No, I haven't, but you know, Berkley's making some good stuff now. And since we're talking about soft plastics, I'm a believer in that Max Scent stuff. I had a bunch of it. I don't know where it's gone, but matter of fact, I did find some over here on my wall cross. I'll bring out and show you guys. But I have a 6 cent sensory rod that's supposed to be delivered today. I'm going to track it on my cell phone real quick. Of course, it probably won't work. But they got a set of new rods coming out, the sensory. And they sent me one, and it was supposed to be delivered today. And evidently, it's not going to happen. So, shame on you, FedEx. You have kind of ruined my Saturday. But when I get it, we'll do a big unboxing and all that good stuff. So, alright. So, let's get into soft plastics for spring. And we'll start with the bait I talked about. So, this is kind of a hybrid bait. This Mermaid. Dude. That is a great deal. 100 viewers, wow. I'm excited. Caught a largemouth down that new Berkley Jester on a Z-Man Ned head. We're going to talk about some Ned stuff, and I'm going to show you a couple cool ways to rig them. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, YouTube seems to like thumbs up and comments and all that kind of stuff now. So anything you guys can do, I appreciate it. And we're over 10,000, so. Hopefully, any new viewers, welcome to the stream. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and we're going to talk about these. So, this is the new Yamamoto Mermaid, and it's kind of a cross between a creature bait and a double-tail grub. It's got these appendages right here, and what's really cool, if you want to fish some, if you want to do some mat punching, stuff like that, you can make this really, really slim, just like that right there. You can pull those little pinchers off. You got one here in the back, and you've basically got a fat twin-tail grub, and you can go in and out of cover really easily with that right there. This is like a California 420 color. Now, something I'm going to tell you guys, this is the time of year when I'm throwing soft plastics, I want some kind of red and greens. Get real natural. The warmer it is, the better luck I start having with my watermelon reds and stuff like that, because the brims start moving around. Traditionally, I'm a green pumpkin, black and blue, green kind of guy. And then I do like some orange. So that is the Mermaid, but I took her arms off, and that's going to go in the kill pile over in the corner. But these are on Tackle Warehouse. I got these last year on sale, and that's the full bait. Just use your standard whatever 4/0 EWG hook, or you can, for flipping, 4/0 jungle hook would be fine. Matter of fact, while we're on here, I'm going to go ahead and get my Bass Mafia terminal tackle box out. Whew, this one hadn't been used in a while. Heavy duty. I do need some sunglasses. I got them in my truck. Oh, I got 2 terminal tackle boxes. This is the one that ain't got shit in it. This is the good one we need right here. So when it is soft plastic time, I always take this box with me. And you can see I'm loaded down. I even got drop shot weights in here. Carolina rig stuff. You name it. Man, that looks spooky right there. But I'm not full of tungsten weights, man. I gotta get somebody to hook me up with some tungsten so I can load this box down. But I pretty much got this organized. Top, I've got regular worm hooks. Then I've got, oh, wrong side. The top, I got regular worm hooks. Then I got flipping hooks, and then I got miscellaneous hooks. And then I got a little box of finesse stuff. So as we go along, I'll show you how I rig some of these baits. So let's see. Let me get organized too. So let's talk about creature baits, and I'm going to do it to you real quick. Let me get this out here. So probably one of my all-time favorite creature baits is the Strike King Structure Bug, and I really like this color right here. And you know, guys, this has been really, really popular. And the reason I like these Beaver style creature baits is I think they're very natural. They're crawfish imitators. This color right here, Chameleon, this is a really good natural color. You see it's got some watermelon red, and it's kind of got this little bit of blue on it as well. And this is the standard size. Now they make a Magnum structure bug. I like that one better if I'm putting on a Carolina rig, or maybe I'm flipping some really thick cover. I like that Magnum one if I'm wanting the big bite. But this standard size right here, and I'm going to show you this bait right here, and some guys are going to get Googan baits. I just did it. I literally just bought a pack today just for you guys. So let's compare this guy with this guy. And let's exactly see how close they are. So this color I've got is called Natural. So this is a pretty cool looking color. It's kind of like got a gold silver on it, and then it's like maybe a green pumpkin with some blue flake. So there is the structure bug in this hand. Here's the Googan baits on the left hand. First off, the body on the Googan Bandido Bug. This is what this is, the Bandido Bug. The body is actually quite bigger. The only thing that's really similar is this right here. 4 arms, 2 arm. This comes out to this one's a triangular shape. This one's more rounded. This just doesn't have a lot of smell to it. I guess they didn't put that slaunch sauce in it like they say. Of course, this one's got the coffee scent. Now, to be honest, I'll let you know. I've had a lot of success with this bait right here. It's going to take a lot for me to put this into my arsenal, but I'll give anything a fair chance. And to be honest, this one is softer than this, but neither one of these baits is going to hold up more than 1 or 2 fish. Just being honest with you guys. But I like the looks of the Bandido Bug. Probably the better one they've got. Smells like Perix. Okay, that's funny. But anyway, so how I'm going to rig this bait, because guys always ask me, because one of my favorite hooks for these creature style baits. Now this is not flipping. I'm just pitching shallow cover. Maybe I'm trying to find some places where some Jaints may be hanging out. They're not in the bushes. I like a Mustad grip pin. This is about the only time I use a Mustad hook. Basically, my Texas rig, I'm going to go, actually I like on this color, I like the blue side up. So I go down through the middle of the bait, and I push it in, which most of you guys should know this, but you'd be surprised. But what I like about this thing, and I'll show you, is this little pin on the grip pin. You can see right here, it holds that plastic really well. And then I'll come in, and instead of going through the middle, I go to the side. Because if you go down the middle, your bait splits in the middle. If you'll go a little bit offset, it's not going to hurt the action or nothing like that, but you're going to get a couple more fish. Now, I always pull my appendages out, and what you can do is you can pull your hook way out and push this right back into one of these little ribs, and it's going to be exposed. Thank you, man. What line I use for shallow flipping? I use 17 to 20 pound Sunline, or I use braid. But this grip pin, man, it keeps your bait from balling up. I really like that Mustad hook just for a standard Texas rig. And that's the Strike King Structure Bug. One of my favorites of all time right there. And what's cool is I got a little video of Brad Knight I'm dropping tomorrow. He's going to show you some more ways to rig this thing. But you can also go right down the center. I think these handle a little bit better than a Sweet Beaver. And that color is called Chameleon. Yeah, my eyes are burning, not going to lie. But, man, there's so many soft plastics that Strike King makes. The Rage Crawl, if you can't find any structure bugs, the Rage Crawl is just really good by itself. So I knew somebody was going to ask me about the Googan baits, and so I figured, man, I seen them at the Academy. I'd pick a pack up and do a little live comparison, because there's always somebody on there that said they ripped off Strike King. I think the Kraken Crawl is a little closer to a Rage Crawl, but man, I think the Bandido Bug, I think this is kind of its own bait right here. So I'm definitely going to go try and fish with it, and if it catches fish, it catches fish. Simple as that. But you know what? While I'm on my high horse, I'm going to talk about a company right now that I used to love, and I've got a ton of their baits. I mean, I'm looking at them right now. In their last 4 baits, they have completely knocked somebody off, and that's Zoom. They just came out with a new Z-Swim, and it is a clone of a Kitech, clone of a Rage Swimmer. I get it. That's a really popular style bait. But let's say they knocked off a Bass Tricks. They knocked off the Kitech before. Now they're knocking them off again. I mean, Zoom has got great products that they were the originators of, like the Brush Hog and the Z Hog and the Z Crawl. And now it's just like, hey, if somebody makes a good bait, we're just going to copy it to a T and put our colors on it. At least Strike King, at least Googan baits are trying to do something a little bit different than everybody. Even if it's the same concept, they're putting their own spin on it. I just don't get it, you know. And let's be honest, that Kitech is really, really hard to beat. So, should you downsize the size of your soft plastic when you're fishing soft plastic? You know what? Go big or go home. I will downsize when the bite is tough, when I'm fishing really, really heavy cover, and I want that bait to go in and out pretty quickly. That's true, Dustin. You know, he does license out the flange. He licensed it to the Googan Baits guys, and you know what? They went about the right way, and they asked him and said, we'll pay the royalty, and hey, I'm cool with that. If you ask and get permission, I don't really care. And it's all the guys that they don't do that and they get mad. You know, I get on Facebook and people are mad because Z-Man sending them letters about their chatterbait, and they all say, well, mine's better and I want to be able to use it. And I said, well, if yours was better, how come you had to copy their head to blade connection? They really don't say anything after that. So anyway, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I need my coasters on bad. 500 watt halogen lights, pretty rough, but we got a good looking video. That's all I got to say. Gotta get me a little of this Code Red. Yeah, what kind of rage tail you want? Rage Crawl? Let me go grab one. Like I said, I know the Rage Swimmer's the same model of a Kitech, but you would think Zoom would have done this years ago, back when it was all popular. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but the Kitech's actually a knockoff of another bait in Japan, and that company went under business. So it is what it is. Again, the other plus is there's more options out there for a guy to choose from. I'm the kind of guy, if I want electric shad Kitech and they're sold out, I'll go get the Rage Swimmer. I've fished them both side by side. For the most part, I don't think there's hardly any differences. But, you know, that's a good question, Steve. That is a very good question. All right. I'll go get a Rage Crawl. When I get to the crawls, I'll go grab one that's right across me. So, we're talking about creature baits. So, here's one that I think is very underappreciated. And that is the Berkley Havoc Pit Boss. And now, I primarily only use this guy when I'm flipping. But I know some guys that put this sucker on the back of a jig, and they really like that. What's cool about the Pit Boss is now you can get it. They're not in the Havoc line, but you get the Pit Boss in the power bait line. And I'll be really honest, I'm a big believer in power bait and max scent. I think the fish will hold on to it a little bit longer. They don't pay me to say that. I'm not sponsored by them. I promise you. They don't even send me free stuff. I wish they sent me some free stuff, but that Pit Boss, great bait. And what's cool about it is it doesn't look like much till you turn it backwards, and then you can kind of say, oh yeah, I see a little crawfish in there. I do use the hula grub. That's kind of a winter deal for me. Never heard of Klein baits. Sneed Fishing makes some good stuff. Gambler is a good product, and I've got some Gambler in here. Who Daddy is a good one. Who Daddy's a good one. So that's the Pit Boss. But my all-time. Let's get the Beaver out here. Let's get the Beaver. So I couldn't talk about soft plastics for the spring if I didn't talk about this bait right here. And this bait right here really started basically the Beaver, the sweet Beaver. This color's tramp stamp. It's green pumpkin right here, and then black and blue on this side. One of my favorite colors. And this is the original, the 420 size. And that's my favorite color they've ever made. That is green goby. I've done really good on this color right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. There you go. Focus in, focus in, focus in. And it's like a green pumpkin with some gold and orange flake. I do really good. Now, one trick on this bait that I learned through the years, when it gets tough, I'm going to find my finesse box here. When it gets really tough and you're having a hard time getting a bite, especially in the spawn like we are, is I'll get me out one of these shaky heads, and I call this the shaking beaver, and this is a good way to catch some big smallmouth. So I'll take me a little ball head, shaky head. Yeah, I love the Beaver. Everybody loves Beaver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw. I like these little screw ends from Picasso. This is their shakedown. The only negative of this is their screws are so small. You kind of have to push it into the plastic to get it started. But it's got a super sharp hook. It's hard to. This light's killing me. I'm trying to get this thing. Yeah, I just did that. Sometimes these screw heads don't go good, the outer layer of plastic. But this is a killer way to fish a beaver bait that a lot of people don't do. Alright, once I get it going and get it going on that head, screw it in there. Man, this hook is sharp. I've done hit myself like twice. So I'll take that beaver, and the small one works really good too. So now I've got a little beav worked up on a shaky head. Just screwed the beaver right on. Dude, I've been watching with the joint. I'm so into that. Peace, brother. Peace, man. You know, that you do you. But one, this is a great little rig if you come across some bedding bass. Two, throw this down those little pea gravel points areas and just drag it along. For smallmouth, they absolutely love this thing. An old man and great fisherman on Kentucky Berkley Lakes and legendary basketball coach Billy Chumbler, he showed me this and caught several fish on it. And so when it gets tough and it's the springtime, instead of throwing a jig or something, I'll throw the beaver on a little ball head like so, and I'll catch me some fish. It works really good with the little I believe it's a 3.5 Beaver as well. But that's just the 1/8 ounce Picasso shakedown on a Attractant Beaver. And this works good on bedding fish too, because when it comes down, it just kind of sit down like this right here, and you got one solid hook. So, but you can do that same kind of deal with any kind of these creature baits. You got to get creative. Kevin, the new camera is badass on our end. Baits look good on 4K monitors. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yep. Oh, Wesley Strader, one with the tramp stamp. Dude, he is an awesome dude. A VMC rugby head is money. Yep. Any kind of wobble heads, I like to throw a wobble head on this stuff as well. Let me go grab something real quick. Ooh. Oh. Yep, the Rage Bug is super versatile. So that's the new Manbearpig. Ooh, that one's been up. So here's the Manbearpig. That is from Reaction Innovations. If you watch Tactical Bass, and Matt and Tim has talked about it, this color is called Coosa Special, I believe. No, Warmouth. So you got some green, you got some June bug, you got all kinds of stuff going on here. What I found this bait to be really good for is on a swing head. Mark, they just sent me a message. I got some on the way, so I'm really excited to see that. But very slender design, very similar to the old power bait, Power Hog, which I think they come back out with. I'm going to rig this bait two ways. I'm just going to use a standard EWG hook. I got one in here. Maybe. Yep, I'll just use a standard EWG. This is a owner. I really like owner hooks. And what's cool about this hook, this bait, you see this little thing right here? This is kind of like a built-in mustad grip pin. It's going to keep, for your flipping hooks and stuff, it gives you a little extra. So, just a normal Texas rig, EWG style. This is the Manbearpig. And it's got a really long body, which is good because it lets you put a little bit bigger hook in there than many other of these plastics. You just put it right down the middle there. And you've got your little Manbearpig ready. But you see this right here, if you've got a flipping hook with a grip pin or something, it keeps the head from splitting open, so that's really, really cool. I wish you were wearing Robertson's pimp coat from the classic. No, man, I'm not going to steal Robertson's thunder because, I'll be honest, I'm better looking than Matt. Just kidding, Matt, if you're watching. But another good way to fish this bait is on a swing head. So I'm going to have to actually just do a video on swing head baits, but I really like that. So, and then they've got a double wide beaver that's like this big. When I'm chasing Jaints, that's what I throw. So, you know, I could do the whole video on just creature style baits. I'm just going through my mainstays. What I really like to throw, what's been proven to me through the years on soft plastics. I'm going to answer a few questions and then we'll go. You need some black makeup under your eyes like a football player to cut the glare. Yeah, man, bad. Bad. If you ever come to the UK, then there's some Great Lakes here in the Derbyshire. I once went to school with a girl that was from the UK. She was a transfer student, and she was hot. The only thing I don't like about the Cod-Tech is they don't hold up. So that's kind of a trade-off. Like Senkos, they don't hold up very well at all. But they catch fish. So I feel like Gary Yamamoto made the perfect bait. Catches a ton of fish. It tears up in one fish, so you got to go buy more. And there's a lot of companies that's tried to make a Senko, and the action's totally different. That's not saying there's anything wrong with them. Matter of fact, I got some here. I'll show you. My favorite right now is actually the Berkley General Max Scent. It is awesome. Manbearpig on Tokyo. Do you have any 6 cents flat 75X in copper green? I sure don't. My home lake is Kentucky Lake in Lake Berkley, also known as Carp Central. Yeah, the Kinky Beaver and Rage Bug, they're actually two different baits. They both got a time and a place. How do you swim that 6-inch Scottsboro line through? Very slow. And you're going to see this week on Baitman TV on my channel what happens when a 5-pounder hits it head on. I mean, it almost doubled my rod over. So I wish I had Robert Kraft's money. DIY bass fishing, man, that dude is a great guy. We've been talking all week. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, go ahead and do it. He's got some big plans. He basically made a swim bait rod and then went out and caught a Jaint on it. But he's told me of the stuff he's got going. I'm really excited. I like people being creative. I like do-it-yourself stuff. So y'all get on DIY bass fishing. Hit him with the sub. Tell him Baitman sent you. He's actually got some good editing skills. So, question: should I throw a Kelly's plow jockey or a spinnerbait tomorrow? I'm not sure what Kelly's plow jockey is. You can never go wrong with a spinnerbait. I believe companies try to limit durability intentionally. So really, Z-Man is the only company that markets a bait that's supposed to hold up for fish after fish. And they got a great niche at it. The problem is, you can buy 1 pack of green pumpkin Neds, and if you super glue that bad boy, the only way it's coming off after 50 fish is if you break it off. 1 pack could last you all year. So, but all right, let's see what else we got here in the creature bait category. Somebody mentioned this bait earlier, and this is, dude, this bait is a sleeper. Yes, I'll post a video of pre-spawn Jaints. Awesome, Steve. Let's see if I can get a little video to load real quick here. We're going to go to... see if I can load this video up here on the stream. Check out this pre-spawn Jaint right here, boys. This is on the jackhammer. This is Kentucky Lake. Here she comes. Look at that. That's for you, Frank Hazley, because I know you like that jackhammer in its mouth. That's a bona fide 5.5 pound fish. I actually caught that one pretty close to the boat ramp, so just thought you guys might like a little sneak preview there. I'll have to edit that because I dropped the F-bomb, and you know there are kids that watch this, so I had to fix that. But that'll be coming. Yeah, Culprit actually has some really good soft plastic. So anyway, that color was this one right here, Dustin. So this is the Yamamoto Flappin Hog, and this bait does not get the love it deserves. And this is a great soft plastic for the spring. And this is one of my favorite colors, believe it or not. And this is the large Flappin Hog, and it's watermelon, copper, orange, or red. Matches the trailer of that jackhammer I was throwing. You know what? I'll get the exact color name for that trailer, but this thing has a ton of action. It doesn't flap real crazy like the name says, but it just kind of falls down and everything's moving. Not super fast or anything, but you know, you can pull appendages off this thing. You can pull all this off and have like a super slim punching bait. This is a good bait, like I said, and I like this orange color. I've had more success on the orange color than anything. Now, green pumpkin's been really good to me as well, but I feel a lot of people pass this bait up, and you shouldn't. You will catch some good ones right here. Let's see if Tackle Warehouse has that trailer in stock. I'm trying some new stuff out on the stream here. Alright, so we're going to go in here and we're going to type in Zacho and see if it works here. Well, maybe it won't work. I'll be dang. It won't let me type. Crap. Alright, we're back. We're not even going to mess with it. I'm going to jack something up. So, yeah, the Yamamoto Cowboy is really good as well. So, when you think creature baits, get on TW, land big fish, whatever your side of choice is. I don't care. Get you some of these and tell me what you think. Old school bait a little bit. It's been out for a long time. Not a lot of guys talk about it. Good casting reel in the 100 to 150 price point for weightless plastic baits. I'll be honest. A Shimano SLX is really good. The Luz LFS for $99.99, and you can get a Tatula CT for $129. You can probably find a used SV. I love the SVs. I love my Tatulas. I don't have any issues out of it. Now I will tell you, you will backlash them. No reel is backlash proof. As much as I love Daiwa, I did backlash my SV, but for those, woo, damn, just got bit by a monster back here. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Let's see here. What other kind of creature baits do we have? I tell you, a good place to go shop is Academy. No creature baits in there. Uh-huh. I mean, let's just be honest. If you don't throw this bait right here, dude, it's like 30 degrees outside. It has really, really dropped. That is the large size Flappin Hog, so it's right at 4.5 inches. Baby brush hog, watermelon candy. Arguably one of the best creature baits ever made. This is the baby. And then every year, this time of year, you get to where you can't find this anywhere in the country. You cannot find the green pumpkin brush hog. Guys, dye the tail chartreuse. You can flip it. You can Texas rig it. You can fish it anywhere. And that's one thing I really like is brush hog is super versatile. One of my favorite Carolina rig baits of all time. A lot of guys bite this in half, put it on the back of a finesse jig. Big one, small one. I would like to see a magnum size, you know, like this long brush hog. Yes, I do have some of the Beast Coast Double Weed Guard, and I'll definitely show that to you. That is the G-Spo Brattle Flip. I don't think I'm going to get too crazy about jigs. I'm not going to go into trailers tonight. I'm just going to show you a few jigs, some swim jigs, some pitching, flipping jigs, and then we'll do like jigs 101 next week. We'll really get heavy into that because jig shows and me don't get along because I'm so plain on jigs. Get out to Jason Christie. I do not modify my brush hog too often. I usually keep it normal. I'm a simple guy. Simple guy. I mean, I'll throw me a little 3/0 EWG on this, 1/4 ounce tungsten weight, and I'll fish this around spawning areas. And they eat these little brush hogs. But one thing I will say about the little one, it gets a lot of little fish. Whereas the big one, I seem to catch a lot better fish. Now, a bait I've learned through the last few years that's been really, really good to me is the Dean Rojas Fighting Frog from Big Bite Baits. And this is my favorite color. This is Confusion. So, you almost have this hematoma, black and blue, and then you have green pumpkin. See if you can see that a little better without the glare. Green pumpkin, and then you got this hematoma. And what I like about this bait is, man, when it's falling, those legs kick better than anything I've seen. And I catch a lot of fish on this bait when I'm working it down a bank or whatnot, and I kind of hop it up and let it fall back down. And that's the big one. That's the 5-inch version. And then there's a 4-inch version as well. I throw the 4 a whole lot more than I throw the 5. But when it bites tough as well. You can take this on a little light Carolina rig and get out on some secondary points and stuff, and you can catch some great big fish. I love the fighting frog. The only negative thing on the fighting frog, it's got this little hook slot back here, and it's a little thin, and sometimes it opens up pretty easy. You will go through a lot of these baits if they are eating it. But man, this is one of my favorite baits, soft plastics out. I really like this big bite fighting frog. I got a pack of like 25 up there. Kind of, yeah, it's close to the chameleon color. I really like it. What's cool about that is that color is, I feel like you can throw it in dirty water, you can throw it in clean water, and I still catch a lot of fish. Can you do some experiments with the Z-Man, bear hogs, and other beaver crawbaits? I think you'll be impressed with the durability and the way they stand straight up. Well, I know the Z-Man stuff is durable. I mean, obviously, look here. I mean, you can take any of their baits. Just like this. This is a little TRD tube. I can stretch it. I mean, I can't do that with anything else. There's a time and place for this guy. We're fixing to talk about it now. Probably the last true creature bait I have is old Tommy B Shizzle, Tommy B Biffle Bug. And this is the 5-inch Biffle Bug. And I pretty much only throw one thing on this. I throw it on a wobble head. And I throw the heaviest one I have on. And, you know, I learned a tip from Dan Moorhead on this. He said the secret to the Biffle Bug is if you think you want to throw a 1/2 ounce, add another 1/4 ounce to it. And reel this thing on the bottom kind of like a crankbait. And I really like this big one. And I will stuff glass rattles up in it. And I'll put me on a 3/4 or 7/16 or 11/16 Biffle head. And I throw it and I just reel it. And when it's going through that bottom and it's rooting up and you run past the stump and stop it, boom. Great bait in this pre-spawn, the spawn area. Creates a lot of commotion on the bottom. You can even Carolina rig these things. You can stuff some earplugs. So if you go work in a factory or a plant and they give you those foam earplugs, you can stuff them up in here and make this thing float. But I really like a rattle, and I pretty much exclusively use it on a big Biffle head, structure head, whatever your favorite wobble head is. This right here is a great bait. That is Sooner Run. That's kind of like your California 420. We'll show the color there. A little black and red and some green. Biffle Bug is swing head this way. Yeah, I think I'm going to have Mark Menendez here. I've got my buddy little Bill Schroeder. He might come on next week. We're going to talk jig fishing. We're going to talk little Bill Schroeder. He's awesome. I do have some fuzzy beavers. I've got a box of stuff on the other side of the table that I haven't even got out. Jackal Arching Line is a great bait. I'll answer a few questions, then we'll move on. Jacob Wheeler throws that on his buzz bait, no skirt. Actually, what Jacob Wheeler uses is the Jean LaRue 3-legged frog, but I don't think he's with Jean LaRue anymore. I'm sure he will tell you he's throwing a Googan six-legged, mud shark or something like that. I'll probably need to Texas rig those a little bit too, Dustin. Speaking of, hey, I seen all that publicity you got, man. Illinois Bass Federation. Dustin Taylor in here is a hammer. I'd probably listen to him over me. If I had one soft plastic to flip or cover water all year round, what would you pick? If you had only one model manufacturer to choose from all your presentations, not limited color. Woo, that is a hard question. I would actually probably use that fighting frog, believe it or not. It would either between that or Strike King Structure Bug. I feel those are really versatile baits. I know guys that put that fighting frog on a chatterbait. You can do the same with the Structure Bug. They're both good on a wobble head. They're both good Texas rig. Both good Carolina rig. I guess give me the Strike King Structure Bug. Just because I think they're just a little bit more durable. But I wish they had that color. The Chameleon's really good. Don't put me on a point like that again. That's a hard decision, man. But awesome question. Fat Ica is a great bait. Awesome, awesome bait. Do I flip tubes? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So I got a couple tubes here I like. Now this is one I learned from Kelly Jordan a long time ago when he was sponsored by Lake Fork Tackle. He showed me how good this guy is, and this is the craw tube. Now this isn't the Lake Fork one. This is actually the Big Bite Baits, and again, that's my color confusion: green pumpkin, hematoma laminate. Craw tube is super super soft, and it's made for flipping. It's not your true double dip tube like a Snack Daddy or Mismo. It's kind of a combination of both. You see it's got the little pinchers there. I really like this bait, especially when those fish kind of get around in the bushes. I will throw this usually maybe over a normal tube. But I'm pretty much only going to Texas rig this with a flipping hook. Great, great bait. Put that up. Now, somebody talked about this company earlier. Now, if I'm going to throw a tube and I'm going to flip, this is the Gambler 5-inch flipping tube. And I love this color, the green pumpkin with the chartreuse on the inside of it. Going to throw a big old hook on here. I've got a special hook I'll show you guys. It's awesome on a tube. My boy Dustin Taylor knows about this. I'll show you why I like this hook. This is an owner Zowire jungle hook. This is the jungle wide gap, and what I like about it is because of this right here for a tube. A lot of tube hooks don't go down there far enough, and this hook is so big and gapped wide enough. Look at that. I mean, it's hooked. I probably went down too far, but it's nice and parallel. You got a big bite gap right there. Really like this Gambler flipping tube. I feel like the tube is not used. It's underutilized quite a bit. I think a lot of pros use a tube and they don't talk about it, but these are kind of hard to find. I was kind of surprised they had some of these. I know a couple of pros used to call me about these Gambler flipping tubes. I like them. Yamamoto makes a great tube too. Unfortunately, they tear up really easy. So let me see here. Let me go get another tube. Oh, if I don't kill myself going over there. If y'all hear a bunch of buzzing in the background, they're having gosh dang demo derbies over here at the county park behind my house. The things rednecks like to do. I mean, heck, I'm on here talking fishing baits. So this is a company that's no longer in business. This is probably my favorite size tube. This is just a 4-inch tube, and they put crawl cane on. These things freaking stink, but this is why I like that hook. Most people use a G-lock hook. This owner hook, go right in, go right out, and it's the perfect size for the body of this tube. And you see how it's lined up nice and straight. Maybe not perfect, but you still got plenty gap. And that's an owner jungle flipping hook, or not flipping, jungle wide gap, and it's made with that Zowire, so it's a super slick hook. Now another way you can rig a tube is this right here. Let me find my finesse box. I think this little cool box, this little Gamakatsu finesse box. I think I paid like $6 on Tackle Warehouse for this. And I keep my little Ned heads and my finesse swim bait heads in here. Let's see, where's my stupid tube head? Uh-oh. I'm going to show y'all how to rig a stupid tube. Let's see if I can do it with this. So this is actually an owner hook. This is an owner. I think they call it finesse ball head. And you can basically rig it stupid style. You can go take your hook, run it inside the tube, come out by the head. So this is called the stupid tube. And then pull all the way back through. And then take your hook, go back through the bait, and then push the eye out. Whoop. Man, these tubes are super soft. I just jacked that up. Shit. Well, yeah. These baits are really old. There's a video on my channel of how to rig a stupid tube. That's kind of how it's going to be. The weight's supposed to stay in there. This freaking tube is a piece of shit. That's actually not the way to rig it. So I'd have to find the right hook. I've got another hook in here somewhere, but go look on past videos how to rig a stupid tube. It's one of my favorite ways to fish a tube bait, especially in the spring. Striking makes a great flipping tube. You have to retie with that rig unless you use a snap. I don't use a snap on soft plastics. Let me get some stuff put away. That really pissed me off. I couldn't get that tube rigged up. And also these 4 cylinders at the demo derby are about to drive me freaking nuts. About to go over there. Hey guys, I'm trying to freaking stream fishing tackle stuff, and you're over here driving around your Dodge Neons. Alright, let me get this thing. You don't think I can rig a stupid tube? Well, you might want to go look at some other videos, buddy. See if I got... Hell, there ain't shit in here. This is a problem I have. I got like 3 terminal blocks. Yes, it is, Ronald. Yes, it is. No, I can't skip a jig. Where is that stupid tube head? This is a true stupid tube head right here. So we'll try this one more time. Alright. So this is a lot different hook than that owner. It's more of that G-lock style. Again, all you gotta do, turn your tube upside down, go hook in, then run it all the way down here. And let that pull this in. And what I like to do is just poke the eye out. See the eye? And then push it in just like so. And now you tie your bait on. Now you have a stupid tube. It looks stupid, but man, this thing catches a lot of fish. One of my buddies actually won a ABA tournament as a co-angler on the stupid tube right here. So we got it done. Maybe you have to be smarter than the tube, and that could be a problem for me. But you can buy them stupid tube heads. A lot of people make them, and I find them on Facebook quite a bit. There's a guy that pours a bunch of them, and you get ready to change it out. You can just slide it out the back way. You don't have to get mad and throw it against your garage wall like I did. So Oh, look at this. I just found something I've never shown you guys. Check this out. This is an actual beaver head. I don't think I forgot who gave me these, but they were designed to convert a beaver into a kind of a jig flipping bait all in one. So what you do, which I bet I can't find my daggum scissors either. So what you do, take a little bit, bite a little bit into the beaver. You know, we've all been there. It's a little salty. And you get these little, I guess they're called a sniper head. I'll bend this weed guard back, and you can thread your beaver onto the hook. And this is a stout hook too. I mean, this is a flipping punching deal. Maybe you rig it a little bit straighter than I did. But that right there, that's cool. I don't even know who makes these. I got a box full of them. I've used them before. I'm glad I found them things. But that's on the small one. I really recommend putting this on a big one. I do like them 6 cents crankbaits as well, man. I've got a lot in my box. But what's up, Harper Outdoors? But that's pretty cool right there. I didn't realize I even had these things. Well, I just ruined that bait though. That's alright. I think I know where to get some more. Kill pile. Look at that. That's a 1 ounce one. I think this is something I need to try on the ledges. I have found a bunch of stuff in here I did not know I had. How about that? This box, this Bass Mafia box is old. The gasket's falling out. There's a trick to fix that too. This was like Gen 1. Alright, let's get back on with the baits. Alright, I'll answer a few questions. Purdue, Virginia looking like a good game. It is what it is, man. I guess I'm going to go with Purdue. They have some really good shooters. That white kid, Klein, that dude was lights out. When you hit as many threes as he did, you probably deserved to win. So, Michael McDaniel, that's a great question. I heard the crappie fishing is excellent right now. Andy over at Fast Eddie's Bait and Tackle in Aurora, I was in there today. He said he cannot keep minnows in stock. Guys are catching a ton of crappie. Everybody's limited out and catching good, healthy crappie. So that's a good sign for Kentucky Lake. Wow, man. 195 viewers. I am very blessed. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, I am familiar with Temple Fork Outfitters. So there is a little bit of delay here. Oh, Strike King Wild Thing. I think my dad has some. Those are a really good bait. They're kind of like a V&M Action Cat or Net Bait Action Cat. Kind of like a hollow tube with the little arms on them. That was a good bait. There's a lot of guys that really like that. Have you tried the Savage Gear 3D Roach Shine Glide? I have not. I do have a 3D Roach up in my swim bait box. It's really cool. It doesn't sink very fast. What's my favorite scent attractant? I use an attractant called Strike Force. My buddy Ronnie Critchlow makes it. It is the best stuff. And that's something I've got on a video I want to show you guys is when to use scent and when not. And personally, once that water gets warm and more crawfish, bluegill, stuff like that gets active, I like using scent. because there's more things in the water. They're swimming around, and it gives them something that brings fish to your bait. Early season, when you're throwing reaction baits and there's not a lot of other active bait fish or crawfish, I'm not worried about scent. But once fishing pressure happens, everything starts moving around. I like that scent, and I like a garlic crawfish attractant. That's what Strike Force is. It comes in a little tube. It's easy to spray. So the lake is at 354, something like that. You ever trade the... Yes, I've got some crazy flappers on my wall in front of me. It's a great bait. I've caught a lot of big fish on that thing, but they're getting hard to find for me. I can order them offline, I guess. Space Monkey is a good one. Let's see. What size braid do you recommend for the Tula 200H? I mean, you use what size braid? I mean, you got use what size braid for the technique you're going to use. If you're going to throw really small stuff, 12 to 20 pound braid. If you're going to throw big stuff, 55 to 65. But you know, you shouldn't buy a reel to throw a specific size line, because they'll all hold about everything. Now, saying that, obviously, if you're going to buy a 200 size plus reel and you're going to throw big swim baits, you want to be able to load more 15 to 20 pound test on there. But that's up to you. If you want to throw big baits, throw big line. If you want to throw small, smaller. But typically those bigger reels are made to throw heavier line. Got a trip lined up for Jordan next week. Yeah, I'd imagine that'd be a good place to go. Carolina Lunker Sauce. Man, I'm telling you, you should try that Strike Force. It's good stuff. So, alright, moving on. What else have I got here? Don't need that. Alright, let's talk about lizards. Just lizards. This is a cool lizard I bought off Tackle Warehouse. This is definitely the forgotten bait. And I feel we throw beavers, we throw brush hogs, we throw creature baits, and no one throws the lizard very much anymore. And this is a culprit lizard I got off TW this fall. This is what they call the 7-inch water dog, and this color is called Swamp Juice. Obviously, it's got some purple in it. It's kind of translucent, but it's got red flake in it. So I like my lizards to have a little red in it in the spring, or I like black. But this was just such a good-looking bait, I had to buy some, and that's a really good size lizard. I like that 7-inch, or I like that 8-inch zoom mag lizard. That is a big standby. Spawner bass do not like this. Pre-spawn bass, they cannot stand these lizards. That's a cool one. They had some awesome colors on there. I'll probably buy some more. But back to what I was saying, when it comes to lizards, 8-inch green pumpkin, or this one right here is really good. Black with a chartreuse tail. This right here, we'll catch them. Now, Mr. Twister Super Lizard is probably my favorite 6-inch, and I don't know where mine are at. But the Mr. Twisters have those spots on them, and for some reason, those spots, I think they help catch more fish. Don't ask why. But my favorite color all time in the lizard is blue watermelon. I wonder if I can get that Tackle Warehouse thing to load back up. Aha. Check this. Oh, man. Come on, be on here. Come on here. They do not even have them. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. I figured Tackle Warehouse would have the Mr. Twister Lizard. Those are the best. I love those with the spots on them. Pumpkin, chartreuse tail. man, I don't get too crazy. I like blue watermelon, black with chartreuse tail, black and blue, and I like green pumpkin with yellow spots from Mr. Twister. Those are always go-to. Natural colors in the lizard are black. And when I was little growing up, cotton candy was a really good one. When you get some clear water, that cotton candy lizard is really good. Is Kentucky Lake a good place to throw a floating worm? Yes, it is. What brand? I just throw a Zoom trick worm pretty much. Or I really like these. This is that new Mr. Twister Try Live Nightcrawler. Now I know this isn't a floating worm color, but man, this sucker looks so good. I'll throw this again. Shaky head time. I'm gonna go with the trick worm. Zoom, Mr. Twister, this kind of style. Let me get back to if I got any more lizards in here. Got so much stuff. We're gonna have to do jigs next week because we've been streaming for like an hour already. This is my favorite lizard. Well, big lizard. One of my favorite because of the color. This is the Berkley, and this is an old bag. Power bait lizard. So they quit making the power lizard, and then they come back. Christopher, awesome. Thanks for the question and donation. Gotta have these big ones. So I'd love to get into jigs. We'll probably do jigs next week. I'm sorry, but these blue fleck ones are really hard to find. That's my Lake Berkley lizard. For some reason, that color on Lake Berkley. So Christopher wants to know about this bait right here. So I've never even opened it up. So let's do a Baitman on the fly review. This is the Live Target hollow body crawl. So let me find a knife, possibly, and I'm going to open this thing up. Well, do you throw any plastics on a spinning setup? Yes, floating worm. And I just use a trick worm or a net bait T-Mac. I actually want that worm to fall really slow. I like a white Cinco as a floating worm too. Jigs are not your thing, man. You too basic. No, I like jigs. I am basic. You don't have to go crazy with the jig. Alright, so I've got this thing out of the package. This thing definitely looks cool. If I can get it all the way out. So they give you a little spare set of pinchers. So that's cool. And so that is a pretty neat looking deal. Okay, the only thing that scares me, and I guess it could be weedless, is this little head by the hook point. But it does collapse down. It takes a little pressure to collapse it down, though. I'm a little worried about that. But that's obviously from a realism factor, it's very realistic. Now, maybe what I would do, I might trim the skirt a little bit and try to have more of these craws exposed. This one is half an ounce. It says half ounce. And then, I don't know what this color is. It's close to my favorite green pumpkin chartreuse Baxter's Bug. What color was that trick worm you just showed that was a reddish color, and who's it from? That color is, this is Mr. Twister Try Live, and that color is called Nightcrawler Watermelon Fire. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. I think most of them guys are messing with me. It ain't no big deal. You know, Zoom made a color called Brown Orange Swirl that was really popular, and this is kind of similar. It's a special run color. Matter of fact, my Academy had some. So But back to the guy, the live target. My first impressions, man, this is a cool bait. And I'd like to see if it actually catch any fish. Very solid crawfish imitator. It's definitely different. The only thing will say about live target, they come out with something that looks awesome every year. And then by the time iCast rolls around the next year, they're in discount bins everywhere. But hook's pretty sharp. What I probably would have liked to seen is a little bit wider hook, but they're kind of using this design as to deflect weeds. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's be honest here. If we're going to talk about crawfish imitators, I'm probably going to throw this guy right here. This is the Tackle HD Crawl. So let's do a little comparison. Tackle HD Crawl, live target. Tackle HD, live target. I like this guy pretty well. And it's got its own special little football head to go with that. So, kind of worried about the hookup ratio on this thing. I think you would miss some fish. You may can fix that if you trim this nose off here. But this guy, now we're talking. So what Tackle HD did is make a 3D scan of a live crawfish, and they printed some baits. And man, these things are wicked. So at work, so this is killing some time, which is perfect. Had to run out and check some things. Did I miss the big worms? Well, I don't throw a lot of big worms in the spring. I do throw a mag trick worm quite a bit. Yeah, I like the HD pretty well. I feel that this bait it's very realistic, but it's not gimmicky. I could see this be a little bit gimmicky, but it's a good looking bait. And I'll give credit where credit's due. Live Target definitely has their niche, and they try to innovate, and they're not copying nobody. They're trying to do their own thing. I totally get it and totally respect it. Dude, their frogs are good. The Live Target hollow belly frogs are good. Wasn't a big fan of the sunfish. If you could get one to hold on, you could catch fish, get bites all day. But Live Target definitely tries to innovate. They're copying nobody. So Madman Crawls, that was a good one. These are a little bit more realistic. They're not as fat as that Madman, and a lot of guys like them. But I really like the Tackle HD Crawl. And I'll go back and link the Tackle HD Crawfish. Hey, Rod Red, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that donation. Guys, I've never asked you guys to donate. I appreciate any donation, whether it's 50 cents or $100, and that has happened. And long story short, that's how I got this awesome camera, bought the lights, bought this awesome microphone, was you guys right here. And I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'm going to be upgrading some more camera equipment. I've got to buy more GoPro batteries. Because I probably could have filmed 70 Jaints the other day on Lake X, but I only got 2 GoPro batteries. Bad idea. So, anyway, I've got a pile of plastics over here. My little girl has decided she likes fishing. So this is pretty cool. The Tackle HD stuff. They got a website, tacklehd.com. They got a brown and orange one that's really awesome. These guys are super nice. They were good to the Baitman. So if y'all decide, hit these guys up and say, hey, saw it on Baitman's live show. May not be a thing for you, but I'm going to do some testing with this. I think this would be great in streams. And they told me they're fixing to make a Magnum one. Seen Zaldane and Pontic throwing the 6-inch mag draft around a few tournaments. What's your take? Great bait. I haven't figured it out, but it's a great bait. I will agree with you there, DIY. The frogs work great. Little thin on the plastic. I definitely agree. I like the 6-inch frog that's coming out. So let's see if I've got anything else I forgot about. We're up to, dang, we've been up here about an hour and a half. Speaking of crawls, Has anybody thrown this guy yet? This is the Ned TRD crawl. I have, and I caught a fish on it, but I was catching too many on jerkbait to want to go back to this. But I want to show you guys a tip. I don't know if you've seen this before. Because I had somebody message me on Instagram and say they were having trouble rigging this on the weedless head. So this head from Z-Man was designed for this little crawl. And they said, I cannot get it rigged. Well, here's a tip. When you rig this, don't go way down in the plastic here, or it's not going to work. And then all you got to do is go into the barb and come out, and you'll get this little bit of ring here. And then stretch this thing out and go over that little ring, and you'll go up in that little gap. And now you've got your TRD crawl perfectly weedless. And that's all it takes, is that little bit of, just a little bit of plastic, because it stretches out a whole lot to get on this. This also makes a great micro jig trailer. But that's the TRD crawl. So, but obviously this time of year, this stuff right here, this catches lots of fish, especially when it gets tough. The regular TRD worm works good. What's cool about these Z-Mans is when I get done rigging one, now I can just put it right back in the package, and it's gonna last for a long time. Not like Zoom or the other stuff, but I think it's more fishing pressure on the lakes and everything. You're going to see more and more of this Ned Midwest finesse style take off, especially here in the South. That's the Z-Man Weedless Bullet, I believe is what they call it. But I have my own little finesse box, so special. But and then you've got the TRD tubes, finesse flipping. And all I do is that owner head I had earlier, that finesse ball head, this is, instead of shoving it up in there, I've found that just taking it and putting that ball head on the outside, like that right there, probably not as that's as good a way to fish this bait as any, because you'll get a little bit of a stand-up presentation. You got a little bit bigger hook in there, and you can make it weedless. Now it does stretch it out a little bit. Or you can take that TRD tube and you can take just a regular old, this is just a standard Ned head, and you can just thread it down on there. You can have a tube like that. However you want to do it, very versatile. TRD crawl does look awesome. I have not thrown a Demiki. I do not throw that little guy on a bait caster. I actually do own a spinning rod now, and I put that TRD on the spinning rod. I've got to get better at finesse, man. I hope to do more finesse fishing this year. So I'd like to wrap this up. It's been a long night. There's just so many baits to go through. The springtime is awesome. You can throw any type of bait you want and catch a fish if you're in the right area. From craws to beavers to worms. I do got to mention this bait right here. This is the Lake Fork ring fry. And I'm going to tell you guys, this right here will catch them. Lake Darnell guys, Arkansas guys, Lake Fork guys. Been a lot of money won on this thing right here on a Carolina rig in the spring, and they put that good smell good on it. And I really like the Lake Fork ring fry. Great bait. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. you're ever in doubt what color to buy in the spring, watermelon candy. I don't care if you're in North Carolina, Florida, Kentucky Lake, you can catch them on watermelon candy. So I hate to get into a color deal, but I think that's about all I got here, except for the old fluke. I'd be the worst guy ever to ask for tackle stores because I can't even get my stuff stored right. So, one thing I'll tell you guys on a fluke, I like white. Obviously, this is special to me. This is lavender shad. And what I really like is when the bluegill get active, when the water comes up. Where'd that sucker go? I like watermelon red, wherever that's at. Here we go. Here we go. The water gets up. The bluegill get active. This is probably my favorite fluke color. Watermelon red. It's going to look like a little brim darting sideways. And man, it's awesome. So, alright guys, next week we'll talk about jigs. I've got a couple videos. I got a jerkbait video coming. I got a day on Lake X. I got this video with Brad Knight. Do me a favor, first time viewer, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If not, no big deal. We're going to do some more cool stuff. I'll be back next Saturday night, and I should be getting a big giant order from 6 Cents. If I get that Monday or Tuesday, we'll do a live unboxing before I go to work, and let you check out that sensory rod. And also, the Babe. If you're just now joining in, the Babe swim bait is back in stock. 3ffishing.com. Use the code on 3ffishing, Baitman, and you'll get 10% off your order. I don't even know what I did with the one I had. So, 6centsfishing.com. Use the code Baitman, 10% off. I wish I had a Tackle Warehouse code, but I don't. But I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to jump off here. I could watch a video all day about Zoom baits. That'd be a cool video, breaking down every bait by Zoom. Thoughts on a Strike King ringworm? Almost bought a pack today. I didn't know they made a ringworm. Well, I guess they did. Lucky Strike ringworm, that's the OG, that's the deal. Just wait till you see the new 6 Cent soft plastics. Man, I actually throw flukes. I throw them on a bait caster. I use a 6'8" medium heavy rod, or 7-foot medium heavy. You've got to really tune your reel. Once you get it tuned up, you're good to go. And you cannot just whip it out there. I kind of make a sideways, a 45-degree angle cast. So, yes, they do, Mark. Thanks, Leo. I appreciate it. If you see this, what do you think of Tokyo rig? Have not fished it personally. I think that's another great tool in the arsenal. Thoughts on the Shimano Bantam? Badass reel. Probably the best reel Shimano has made in the last 10 years. It is super solid, smooth. I used my buddy's the other day, and I'm going to have to get one. I mean, I love my Daiwas, but I need a good heavy-duty but low-profile reel. And that's what I'm going to go with. That was the Lake Fork Ring Fry. It's an old school bait, man. Old school bait. I have used the Reaction Innovation Pocket Rocket. It's a great bait. I don't know why I don't have any here, because I've bought like 10 packs of them in my life. But crap, I just ordered a whole bunch of babes. I could have saved money with that code. Matt, I will let Kyle know and see if we can't get you taken care of. My favorite jerkbait right now is the 6 Cents Provoke, because I blistered them on it. This one right here. I'm not going to retire it. After 30, 40 bass, it's still going strong. But I'm still a mega bass guy by heart. Love those. So I own some of the Z-Man custom cheddar baits. Are the jackhammers really worth $17? Yes. If you can afford it, yes. There are great options. The Thunder Cricket from Strike King, Z-Man Customs, the Picasso, Shock Blades. Those are really good. I still feel that jackhammer is the top tier bladed jig on the market. And that's not knocking anybody. Man, I'm really confident in that bait, and it's won so much money. You know, the pros could buy whatever they want, and when they're all buying jackhammers, that says something. So, I have used the donkey rig. I like the Shimano SLX reel. I believe for $99, it's very solid reel. It's basically a Corrado K with a few less bearings. Heck yeah, man. You ought to try to get a Baitman box and give that away, man. That'd be awesome. That's awesome, Mark. 6 Cents has great customer service. Travis, Casey, all those guys are really good. And so is old Clint Davis. If you watch, he's good as well. Corrado DC is awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I got to go back to work tomorrow night, so I'm going to spend some time with my little boy. Hope you all catch him. Jaints. I will see y'all next Saturday night for live. Thank you guys so much as well. We'll talk some jigs. We're going to talk swim jigs and finesse jigs and flipping jigs. And we'll roll from there. Thanks again for joining. I'm going to trim my beard up. I'm looking a little skanky, so I'm going to do that. But, guys, make sure y'all leave comments. There will be another Baitman box on the way. Make sure you support those guys that support me. 6 Cents, Dial with Sunline, all this stuff. Everybody. And never, if you ever got a question, don't feel hesitant to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. I will get back to you. So, you're right, St. Cress. Unnamed bladed jig means I caught him on jackhammer. One last thing I must address. Jacob Wheeler said that the new Googan Baits bladed jig would be the most refined bladed jig coming out. Dude's throwing a jackhammer the whole time. So, and I like Jacob. He's always been really, really nice to me. But don't blow smoke up on anybody's ass on Major League Fishing. And I made that comment on Facebook. Hey, if Googan Baits wants to make a bladed jig, go for it and make it awesome. But don't tell me you're using some kind of prototype when it's a jackhammer. End of story. So, hey, Jacob, you're an awesome fisherman, buddy. I'd love to have you on the stream. I definitely respect your fishing skills big time. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. And I'm going to go hang out with Baitman Jr. and play a little Fortnite and show him who runs it on Call of Duty. And look for a video tomorrow with Brad Knight. He's going to show you his favorite Strike King bait and a few ways to rig it. And then I got some other videos in the can. Thank you guys so much. Guys, God bless y'all. Make sure you hug your families.